All right, welcome everyone. It is Dr. Dan, president of the Functional Aging Institute, and today I am joined by Dianne Bailey of Open the Door to Tai Chi and also the Conditioning Classroom. Are you coming to us live from the Conditioning Classroom?
I am. That's where I am right now.
Your training studio in Centennial, Colorado, is that correct?
That is correct.
Yep,
Yes.
yep. 18 years she's been doing this at the Conditioning Classroom, so that's an achievement in and of itself. So Dianne is going to lead our session today, and again on Thursday. They are not the same session, and we'll talk a little bit about Thursday at the end. But Dianne, as usual, I'm going to hand it over to you here in just a second.
Okay.
Before I do that, I want people to type in the chat, and thankfully we got the right link out today. I messed up yesterday. Sorry about that again. I do make mistakes. I actually started this webinar yesterday, Dianne. I don't know.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah,
I was not here.
Little tricky for people to find it. They were like, wait a minute, I don't have the right link. It says there's another meeting in progress. I'm like, yeah, the guy running the meeting started the wrong one. Somehow 31 people managed to fight their way into that room. I'm really impressed. So if you're on here live, type in the chat. I always like to see this. Type in the chat. Is this your first ever FAI webinar? Is it your 19th? Have you ever heard Dianne speak before? Are you scared to death of Tai Chi? Are you a functional aging specialist? If you're Tai Chi certified, type that in as well. So blow up the chat. Love to know where people are tuning in from. City, state, province, country, time zone, wherever you are in the world, type that in. Dianne, I'll come back to moderate Q&A at the end. Or if somebody asks a question halfway through and we're all confused with the crazy Tai Chi terms you're dropping on us. Otherwise, I'll be back at the end. So thanks for your time and take it away.
You know, this week is all about balance. And we know that falls are horrible. They cost a ton, not only in money, but in loss of independence and quality of life. And as professionals, we know that we need to be helping our clients reduce their risk of falling. So we need to be putting the right tools in our toolbox so that we can help each client. And that's my job this week, is to introduce Tai Chi to you as one of those tools that is an outstanding exercise to help improve your client's balance. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can, Dan, do you want to help me share? It says I'm disabled right now to share my screen.
You should be good now.
Okay. Now I'm good. Thank you. And as I said, I'm going to introduce Tai Chi to you and help you kind of get past that idea that maybe you might be a little bit intimidated by Tai Chi. You might not feel very comfortable with it, but it truly is an outstanding exercise to help your clients improve their balance. And what we're going to go over today are the 4 cornerstones of the Open the Door to Tai Chi system. As Dan said, I am the creator of the Open the Door to Tai Chi system. I have 26 years in the martial arts. I have almost 20 years as a personal trainer. The only reason that I tell you that is to give you confidence that I am in a unique position to help you understand and to implement Tai Chi. I am both a martial artist and a personal trainer. So I am part of your world. I'm part of the world of Tai Chi. So I just want you to know I do have that background, so you have the confidence to understand Tai Chi. You've probably heard of Tai Chi. It's in the news. It's a lot talked about right now, but this might be your picture of what you think Tai Chi is. And this picture might be a little bit intimidating. It might be a little bit off-putting because you might be saying, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to look like him. I don't want to have to travel to China. I do not want to have to put the time in that it takes, or that I think it takes, to learn Tai Chi. But that's what today is all about. I want to move you from that place of being reluctant to being ready to implement and use Tai Chi, because it is proven to help reduce the risk of falling. You're going to learn a little bit about Tai Chi, and we're actually going to do some Tai Chi. So I hope you're in a place where you can stand and join in with me, because I want you to feel how Tai Chi can help your balance. And believe me, you will be able to feel it almost right away. So what is Tai Chi? This is a definition that I came up with, that if you've been around me, you've heard this before, but it's a pretty simple definition. Tai Chi is a martial art that utilizes gentle flowing movements to enhance health in the body and the mind. And as you can see, it is a martial art. That's where people stop often, is it's a martial art, I don't want to do it. They have the idea that the martial arts community has actually has put forth that you must travel to China. You have to learn from somebody who has a lineage back to the beginning of Tai Chi. You have to study for years and years and years, and you have to be perfect at it. But that's where my background as a martial artist and my experience as a personal trainer come into play. That I can help you understand you can learn Tai Chi. And it's an exercise. It doesn't have to be a philosophy. You don't have to travel to China. Let's use the technology that we have today. I want to help break down those barriers so that Tai Chi can be a tool in your toolbox to help your clients. So we're going to do that with those 4 cornerstones. The first cornerstone is perfection is not the goal. Improving lives through the benefits of Tai Chi is the goal. So in other words, we don't do Tai Chi to be perfect at Tai Chi. We don't do Tai Chi to learn the movements and be ready to go to China and show how good we are. That's not why. We do it to improve the lives of our clients with the benefits. And the benefits are numerous. If you take a look at those top 2, improving balance and flexibility and reducing falls in older adults. This list of benefits is a real brief list, actually comes from the Mayo Clinic website. And it shows that there's many, many different benefits, but we're going to focus on that benefit of improving balance. And usually, I give you the research studies behind all these benefits, because Tai Chi is, it's probably one of the most studied forms of exercise. But today we're not going to go through the research. That's what we're going to do on Thursday. Thursday's session is going to be much more research dense, and I'm going to give you all the background for the benefits of Tai Chi. Today I want to focus more on having you experience Tai Chi. And that brings me to cornerstone number 2. The underlying principles, and not simply the movements of Tai Chi, drive the benefits. So in other words, you can't just do the movements. You can't just learn the movements and say, yeah, I understand Tai Chi. You actually do have to understand the underlying principles. Like I said, you don't have to adopt the Taoist philosophy. You don't have to become a dedicated martial artist, but you do need to understand these underlying principles. And these underlying principles are columns. We're going to talk through these real briefly, but then we're going to stand up and do. Rotation is important. Understanding the idea of substantial and insubstantial. That's actually where your weight is. And you'll feel it. It's as if water is flowing in your body. Moving from the Dantian is actually very important, and I'll talk about that. I'll explain what the Dantian is to you. Understanding energy flow, being rooted and grounded, understanding that the movements are all connected and it drives that relaxation response. Breathing is important, and the martial arts applications. Again, you'll find out as we do why those martial arts applications are important, and it's actually related to helping your clients be more balanced. So this is the point where we're going to stand up and we're going to do some Tai Chi. So I'm going to stop my screen there and I'm going to step back. See if this is good here. So if you have a place where you're free to move, I want you to go ahead and stand up, but just make sure that your area is free of anything that could potentially make you fall. I don't want that, just having you trip over a carpet or a critter. The first thing that I want you to do is just bring your feet about shoulder width apart and feel your feet. There's a tripod in your foot, one behind your big toe, one behind your little toe, and one right at your heel. I want you to feel that tripod in your feet. And then let your knees be really soft. This is part of the idea of being rooted and grounded in Tai Chi. And it's important for you to feel that sensation, that communication coming up from your feet. Now what I want you to do is bring your weight over to one side and then bring your weight over to the other side, keeping those knees nice and soft. One of the principles in Tai Chi is columns. You have one column straight down the center of your body, one through each shoulder, through each hip. And we keep those columns intact. So in other words, when you're shifting, you're not just shifting like this. I want you to shift that weight all the way over to this outside column here, but keep it straight. And then shift to the other side. And this brings up the next principle, which is that idea of substantial and insubstantial. That's one side is full, that's the substantial side. One side is insubstantial, that's your empty side. So now as you shift onto that outside column, let this leg become completely insubstantial or empty and just bring it in. Then step to the other side. Let this column stay straight. Bring the weight all the way over. This side becomes empty and bring it in. So now as you shift, be very aware of that weight. Keeping your feet in contact, keeping it in contact with the ground. That's silly. Feeling that contact with the ground. Keeping your substantial leg slightly bent. Not bent, but soft. Step over to one side. Now as you step over to this side, let this leg become empty, and I just want you to lift the knee. Now if you can, lift it like this. If you can't, if you need your foot on the ground, that's fine. But this movement here is actually a movement called pheasant stance. Step to the other side and bring the other knee up. Pheasant stance. Notice this hand right here, the elbow is pointing towards my knee, but that's not the important hand. You might feel like it is. It's actually the other hand that's important because this hand is slightly in front and facing towards the ground. So I'm going to turn just a little bit here and you can see where that hand is. Now try something. Bring your hand behind you and notice how that makes you totally off balance just by moving your hand. We'll come back to hands, but I want you to think about how important every piece of that movement now becomes. Your columns, your substantial and insubstantial, the idea of being rooted and grounded, and understanding where each part of your body is. So now we're going to do a movement called Chi walking. And if you think of regular walking, regular running, it's really controlled falling, right? If I'm running, if this leg doesn't come down, I'm going to face plant. In Tai Chi, we don't have controlled falling. We know where our weight is at all times. So that idea of substantial and insubstantial is huge with Chi walking. Bring one foot forward, heel to toe, roll that foot down. Bring a little bit of weight onto that leg. Now rock back. And now bring all the weight onto that leg. Make it completely substantial. Let this back leg become completely insubstantial before you step forward with that leg. Bring a little bit of weight forward, rock back. Now bring all the weight onto this front leg. Let the back leg become completely empty before you step. It's the idea of water flowing. I mentioned that. If you think of as you step, all the water's in this back leg. Now it has to flow into that front leg. Don't lift this back leg until it's completely empty. Notice that I'm rooted and grounded. My front knee is slightly bent. We don't want to lock our knee. That's a common error that I see, is as people bring that weight, they want to straighten it up. And that actually brings you off balance. So keep that knee nice and soft. Let that water flow and step forward. Rocking forward, rocking back. Now let this front leg become completely substantial, completely full of water, and step forward with that back leg. There's one more piece of that Chi walking that is moving from the Dantian. That's one of the basic principles. The Dantian is 2 inches in from your belly button and 2 inches down. It's the center of your energy in Tai Chi. It's also the center of your balance. Think about it. Right here, 2 inches in and 2 inches down. You move from the Dantian in Tai Chi. So before we go back to Chi walking, I want to teach you a move called pushing Chi. Bring one foot slightly forward and just bend that front knee a little bit, and then rock back, bending that back knee just a little bit. Bring your hands to the level of that Dantian, and as you bend that front knee, let the arms float up and out, and then as you come back, let the hands come back towards your body. It's called pushing Chi. And even though I talked about how important the hands were for your balance in pheasant stands, if we think about our hands too much in pushing Chi, this is what happens. And I've obviously broken my columns. I'm in a poor position. I could fall at this point. We move from the Dantian, that doesn't happen. If we move from here and just let the arms float, now all of a sudden we keep our columns intact and we can keep our balance. So if we go back to our Chi walking, the part of moving from the Dantian that I didn't mention, bring that foot forward, remember, then rock back. Now, let all the weight come forward and you actually move this Dantian, your center of mass, over your base of support. This becomes your base of support. This is your substantial leg, so that now you can step forward with your insubstantial. It matters that you move that Dantian over that base of support so your columns are intact. That's what helps keep you balanced. I have a drill that I do in class that, as I said, regular walking is really controlled falling. In Tai Chi, if you understand where your weight is at all times and you're following those columns, moving from the Dantian, you choose where your foot goes. You can choose to move forward. You can choose to move backward. You can choose to move to the side. And it's not because you're moving slowly. It's because you understand your weight shift. You understand where your weight is at all times. You're moving from the Dantian. You're not moving from your shoulders. This is huge for people's balance. If they can understand not to walk like this, where they're leading with their head and their shoulders, which only makes them want to go down to the floor, right? Keeping those columns intact, moving from here, now I have a choice of which way I can move. Try this on your own sometime and just see if you can walk quickly and stop. At any point, stop. See if you can stay balanced. There's a couple more moves that I want to teach before we go back to the cornerstones. This move is called kick, smash, and box the ears. I love this one because it is so descriptive, right? Kick, smash, and box the ears looks like this. Kick, smash, and box the ears. What happens if you're not understanding the principles, if you're not applying the principles, is sometimes people will be able to kick, but then they fall forward when they box the ears. And clearly that's not a good position to be in. That's not a balanced position. Being rooted and grounded, following our principles, thinking about our columns, thinking about our weight shift, and moving from the Dantian. So the first part of that, we have to think about our columns, shifting our weight over to one side so that this leg can become completely insubstantial. Because then, if it's empty, it's easy to lift and kick. The smash part is here. Now if we land with our lowering our center of gravity first so that our heel touches the ground and we move forward from the Dantian, just like our pushing chi, now we can stay balanced. So with that, again, thinking about all of our weights on this side becomes insubstantial. Lift, kick, smash, lower that center of gravity, move from your Dantian, and box the ears. Clearly, this kind of movement is not something that your clients are going to take and practice outside, right? They might look at that and go, well, how does that help my balance in everyday life? Well, it actually is really important if you learn how to step over something without stepping over like this. If you learn to step over, lowering that center of gravity, moving that Dantian over your base of support, then you stay balanced. There's one more movement, and it's called brush knee. Again, we're going to apply our principles of columns, of substantial and insubstantial. We're going to think about being rooted and grounded. We're going to actually think about our hands again as far as a balance component. But we're going to add two more pieces to this balance conglomeration of principles. One of them is keeping your eyes on the horizon. We talk about that in Tai Chi, that we want to keep our eyes on the horizon, not looking up and certainly not looking down. Anytime somebody's walking like this, if they're looking at the ground, trying to keep balanced by not tripping, they're actually forcing their energy to go down like this. We want them to stay upright. We want them to be able to keep their eyes on the horizon, which now brings me to that surprising principle of the martial arts application. When you learn to think about an opponent, you know that you want to keep your eye on your opponent. That's part of eyes on the horizon. But the really big reason behind the martial arts application, helping you be more balanced, is it's giving you a purpose and a reason to stay balanced. Because believe me, if you enter a fight and you're unbalanced in your approach, you will lose that fight. I've been there, done that. So you have to understand where your weight is at all times. You have to know where your opponent's weight is. In order to win a fight, balance is critical. So this movement, brush knee, looks like this, where I'm hitting something low and I'm hitting something high at the same time. So blocking something and hitting something. If I think too much about my hands, I might do this, just like in pushing chi, and I've broken my columns and I'm not in a good position. I do have to pay attention to moving from the dantian, keeping myself balanced this way. So I want you to learn this movement real quickly. Bring your weight over to this side, which means you bring this hand high, this hand low, as if you're holding a ball. Step out, bring that low hand across your front knee, and that top hand comes out. So let's do that one more time, holding that ball to this side. Step out, brush this hand across, and the front hand comes high. If I'm keeping my eyes on the horizon, if I'm keeping my eyes on my opponent, that helps so that I'm not bending over like this. But it's also important to understand that this hand that's brushing low needs to stay in front. My energy needs to be going towards my opponent. As soon as I bring my hand to the back, go ahead and try that on yourself. As soon as I bring that hand to the back, if I'm doing it this way, look how I've broken my columns, and now you can feel your energy is separated. You're not going towards your opponent. If you keep this low hand in front, now all your energy is going towards your opponent. You can stay balanced and hopefully win that fight. All of these principles, and I hope you can feel this now, you can actually take these ideas to your clients tomorrow. You can talk to them about columns and weight, keeping their columns intact. You might not want to bring into the play the martial arts application yet, but if they understand where their weight is and they understand to keep those columns intact, and keeping their eyes on the horizon, you will see an improvement in their balance almost immediately. Tai Chi is a system of learning how to move your body. And that's part of what balance is about, is learning to move your body as a unit, not as separate pieces. If it's a coordinated effort, which learning Tai Chi is a lot about coordination, that coordinated effort of your body will help keep your body balanced. So I'm going to come back to the screen. Now I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go back to our PowerPoint. And we were just talking about those underlying principles, and I hope you were able to feel how those principles are more important than the actual movements. But what's really more important is Like I said at the beginning, we don't do Tai Chi to do Tai Chi. We do it to get the benefits for our clients. And those benefits need to translate to their everyday lives. These benefits of Tai Chi, of being more balanced, need to help them enjoy the things they love to do. Our clients are not going to become competitive Tai Chi practitioners, probably. Why they do Tai Chi is so that they can be better at tennis or better at golf, or they just feel more vigorous because they are moving their body and understanding how they can be more balanced. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is why we do Tai Chi. Which brings me to cornerstone number 3. Tai Chi should be accessible and approachable to everyone. On Thursday, when we go through the research studies, the title of that talk is really Tai Chi for Everyone. And I'll show you how Tai Chi is for everyone, including and possibly and most importantly for those that are dealing with chronic illnesses. We teach Tai Chi as an exercise because it's fun, because it brings the benefits. And if you think about balance as a use it or lose it skill, we want our clients to be able to consistently practice their balance. And that's part of the beauty of Tai Chi, is that it gives people an opportunity to be learning something. And it's not, yes, it brings them more balance, but it's not just I'm being more balanced. It's they're occupying their mind with learning something different and having the opportunity to consistently practice what they're learning. And that helps their body continue to improve in balance. I like to call Tai Chi the easy button because it is something you can easily bring into your studio, how you approach workouts with your clients, because there's no special equipment. You don't have to have really any big space to do it in, especially in these days. You can do it outside if you're in a climate where you can do it outside. I have my studio here. I'm limited right now to 4 people at a time, but that's actually an okay thing. It still allows people to be physically distanced, but socially together. And as an exercise, like I said, it does translate to their real life. I have clients who have told me that their golf game has definitely improved because of Tai Chi. I have clients that have told me they've been on sailing trips and everybody else on the boat was really unsteady, but they felt they were very steady because they were applying their principles of balance on that trip. I have another client who she was always very scared of going downstairs, like at a theater, like at a big production theater, and there's no railings on the stairs to get to her seat. And she told me one day that she had gone to a production and was able to walk down the stairs to her seat without holding on to anybody. And she had the confidence to do so because she was applying the principles of balance that she had learned in Tai Chi. And that brings me to that 4th cornerstone, where Tai Chi is a piece of the overall fitness puzzle. It's not the whole puzzle. It's a piece of the puzzle. And I'm going to talk about balance in a little bit different focus now, maybe than what you have thought of, in that your exercise programming for yourself and for your clients needs to be balanced. You cannot always be on this harder side all the time. You know, unfortunately, as a fitness industry, right now especially, we're all about pound, 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 harder, faster, do more, more, more. You will break your body down if that's all you ever do. You need to balance your exercise programming. And Tai Chi allows you that opportunity to work on the softer side, work on opening up your joints, being more flexible. And it is actually really good for brain training as well. I've done a whole webinar with Ryan Glatt on how good Tai Chi is for brain training. So if you think about that balance in your overall programming, that's an important piece that Tai Chi can answer. Because there are people who, for some reason or another, might never be willing to come into an exercise program that they feel would hurt them. Maybe they got hurt in the past. Maybe they've never exercised before. Maybe they're coming back from some kind of health issue. Tai Chi is the perfect entry into exercise because it is so soft and gentle on the joints. It is easier to start with Tai Chi, especially with people like this, that they don't want to do 100 burpees at a time. Yes, of course, I know we need to do strength training too, and that's what this week is all about. Remember I said it's about having those tools in your toolbox. Tai Chi is a tool. Tai Chi is a piece of the puzzle, and it will help encourage people like this to come into your studio or come into your programming. You also have clients who perhaps, like I said, just need to balance out their exercise. They are capable of doing heavy lifting or running, whatever, but they need that softer side so that their body does not break down. And don't forget that very first slide, people are talking about Tai Chi, and doctors are actually recommending it. Physical therapists are recommending it because it is proven to improve your client's balance. With Open the Door, I try to remove the mystery. And one of the pieces of that mystery that kind of it stops people from doing Tai Chi, from teaching Tai Chi, is they feel like they have to take years to learn it and they have to become a master to do Tai Chi. And that's not true at all. I think about, do you have to be a professional race car driver to get in your car and drive to work? No. And you don't even have to be a professional race car driver to help your 16-year-old learn how to drive, right? Look at that picture of Michael Phelps. You don't have to be Michael Phelps to teach a swim class to your local community, right? You don't have to be an Olympian. You don't have to be a master swimmer to teach kids how to swim, or adults like me who don't like to swim. You don't have to be a doctor of physics to walk into a high school classroom and open up your students' minds to the wonders of science. You don't have to be a master to teach Tai Chi. Yes, you do have to learn. Yes, you do have to learn the underlying principles, but you don't have to take years and years and years and perfect yourself before you can ever start to bring the benefits of Tai Chi to your clients. You can learn Tai Chi. You can start bringing those benefits to yourself. You can bring the benefits to your community. And that's part of Open the Door as well, as we have a community of instructors. We have a vibrant community where we share ideas, we share problems. Maybe a client comes in and we didn't know how to answer the question. We help each other with that. So it's not once you learn Tai Chi, then you're on your own. That's not it at all. We're here to help you, and we're here to help you help your clients. So I don't know if we have any questions, Dan. Bring you back in.
I'm sure we will now that you're finished. We did have a question about halfway through.
Okay.
Pauline was asking, and I think I almost interrupted you, but I figured I'd let you take it at the end. She says, when you take a step, I can't tell if you are pivoting and lifting the heel behind. It was kind of hard to just see that visually on camera.
Well, yeah, with the Chi walking, and I'm going to step back just a little bit here. You can see my feet again. With your Chi walking, yes, you're stepping heel to toe. And yes, I am pivoting that back foot, bringing my dantian over that weight base of support, and then stepping forward. So, Pauline, we go over a lot about how to step in the course. So that, I don't know if that answered your question, at least briefly. I hope it did.
Okay, great. Alan is asking, Alan from Windsor, England. Awesome.
Hi.
Use of delayed arm movement after hip rotation.
Use of delayed arm movement after hip rotation. That's an interesting idea of what we go over in the course again is your dantian actually leads the movement. Yes, rotation is important. Rotation is power. When you step, your dantian actually leads that movement, and it leads your hands and your arms, your limbs, into what it's supposed to be doing. So that's a very advanced concept that your beginning students are not going to know how to do at first at all. But you eventually learn how to lead from the dantian, and it's almost like a whip. It's almost like a circular pole where this motion from here brings you into the position that you need to be in.
All right, Michelle asks, does Dianne have a video that we can work with? Her explanations are very good. How many videos do you want, Michelle?
Yes, Michelle, we do. I actually have a video membership site that has almost 100 videos on it. That membership site, don't let 100 videos intimidate you. Okay, that sounds like it's overwhelming, but it's not. The membership site is broken up into beginner level videos, intermediate level videos, and actually instructor level videos where I help my certified instructors with additional class plans and how to teach things so that you can learn step by step from that video membership site. And that's available if you just go to taichisystem.com. It talks about that video membership site.
Yeah, and I just put that in the chat and the Q&A as well.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that's a great additional resource you've developed. Andre says, when you are stepping, do you always end on the 3 points of your foot?
That tripod of your foot, yes, is very important. And that's part of being rooted and grounded. That's one of the principles that being rooted and grounded sometimes sounds like your feet are glued to the ground, like you want to step flat and make sure that they contact all at the same time. That's not true. Your feet are actually, you roll heel to toe, and your feet are actually very fluid on the ground. But that communication of keeping the feet open and in contact with the ground. I know that sounds so silly, keeping your feet in contact with the ground, but you're actually feeling the ground, and it's helping you move in a more stable position. So yes, you do want to have that tripod in your feeling. In other words, you don't want to be toe walking, and you don't want to be flat walking. You don't want to lift the back heel. Let me step back. If, like our brush knee that we did, if I lift that back heel, now all of a sudden I'm not balanced. I'm actually pushed my columns off, and this is not a good position. Keeping my feet in contact with the ground is very important. I hope that answered that question.
Yeah, great. A couple great comments. Pam says, this is excellent, and thank you in advance for sending a copy after the presentation. We will be sending you 2 handouts if you're on live. If you're on the recording, you already got those handouts. Pam says, I'm a yogi, but not very proficient in Tai Chi. Besides the Tai Chi-based warm-up in Les Mills Body Flow, I teach seniors, and core and balance is what I consider the most important part of class. Any format, this is helpful. I love that comment, Pam, because I don't think that our goal, and Dianne, you covered this really well, I don't think that our goal necessarily is that everyone has to become a Tai Chi master. In fact, you can just take some of the portions that Dianne teaches and make that part of your warm-up or your cool down, or
Absolutely.
a bonus class. It's not like you have to become a Tai Chi instructor, but you can use this in your one-on-one training, small group training, large group training.
And we do that here at the conditioning classroom. We use Tai Chi in our sessions. They don't have to be taking Tai Chi as a class. They can learn to be more balanced just by learning those principles. So you're absolutely right, Dan. That comes into play. Just because you learn Tai Chi doesn't mean you now have to just be a Tai Chi instructor. It's a tool in your toolbox. And you know that we have clients who sometimes it's just a different way to say something, and that suddenly resonates with them. That's why we wanted to bring Balance Week to you, because there are different ways to approach it. And what resonates with one client might not with another, but you just say it a different way. Maybe you put it in the context of Tai Chi, and now all of a sudden it means something to them and it helps them, and that's the goal.
All right. Marcia, great comment as well. Such a beautiful description. I have never heard Tai Chi expressed in such an understandable way. So well done.
Thank you.
Let's see. Any other questions, folks? Type them in the chat or the Q&A. I'm going back. Oh, Greg is asking, is your book a beginner book of basic movements?
Yes, that book that you see on the screen right now, that Open the Door to Tai Chi for the Everyday Person, that book is a very basic book. It tells you the history of Tai Chi. It gives you some of the language of Tai Chi. It goes through the benefits and some of the studies. It does have pictures of each of the movements in the Yang Style 24 short form. And I show you those pictures just because that gives you a flavor for what it looks like. You're not going to learn Tai Chi from a book. That piece of our technology, you still need to have at least that video portion so that you're learning how to apply the principles as well.
Yeah. So just to clarify for everyone, taichisystem.com is the website you want to go to. That's where you can find the book and the Open the Door to Tai Chi program. So that's the website. A couple of people asking about, is it Open the Door or is it Tai Chi? Taichisystem.com is the website. That's where you want to go to check out the program. So Dan, if you want to get started learning, that's where you would go. Diane's got some free presentations there and more you can check out. Have you ever done Tai Chi in a pool?
Yes, I have. Okay. And yes, you can teach it in aqua form. I have one of my instructors, Marion, who she teaches Tai Chi in a pool. It's an interesting experience having that water resistance, and it actually kind of helps your body flow a little bit. I personally don't really like to be in a pool, so I don't teach aqua Tai Chi, but yes, you can do it.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about how Tai Chi can help someone with neuropathy?
You know, I have a couple clients with neuropathy, and the gentle movement and the actual mind-body focus helps with that, bringing that communication. I don't want to say it heals that that neuropathy. That's not true at all. But it does help them feel like they're moving with less pain, that they can actually feel how they're moving. So I take this is an anecdotal just from the clients that I have, that they have told me it really, that gentle movement and that mind-body connection helps a lot.
Jacqueline's asking or commenting, I studied, I'm not even sure I'll say this correctly. I studied Taoist Tai Chi. Can I learn
Bells.
your method using videos?
Yes, yes. I teach the Yang Style 24 short form in the certification. On that membership website, there's also that short form. You also, as a certified instructor, have the opportunity to learn the Yang Style long form. There are 4 or 5 different styles of Tai Chi, just depending on who you're talking to. And the Yang style is the most popular here in the Western part of the world. It doesn't mean that it's the only. I am a firm believer in, with my martial arts background, I did many, many different kinds of martial arts. And I started in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I studied Krav Maga, and I studied Taekwondo, and I studied American boxing, because I feel like you're a better martial artist if you learn different styles. So I definitely think, even though you've learned the Taoist Tai Chi, you can certainly learn the Yang style, and the videos that I have both in the certification and on that membership site are step by step. So it helps you not only learn the movement, but learn how to apply those underlying principles, which is really the important piece.
Yeah, great. Gloria, love your comment. Gloria says, my eyes have been opened. Thank you for this great presentation.
Awesome.
I think Andre, along with that, Diane, your presentation skills are terrific. I was not very interested in Tai Chi prior to this webinar, but you have changed my outlook. Thanks so much.
Good.
A couple people asking about the handouts. So if you're on live, we're going to be emailing you those with the replay link here in about an hour. If you're on the recording, you already have the handouts there in the email. So you're going to get the PDF that Diane shared today, plus another PDF as well that Diane has.
That second handout, Dan, one is just the presentation that you see today. The other handout is actually, it's called Balance and Walking handout. It's actually a part of the daily series, which is part of our membership site. And we have an entire series on the basics of balance on that membership site. And that the handout that you have is regarding the basics of balance. And it does bring back the ideas. It explains, what the Dantian is and why you want to move from the Dantian. It helps you just understand and remember all the things that I talked about in the movement section.
Sandy's asking about shoe recommendations. What kind of shoes do you recommend?
I always tell my clients that they should wear whatever shoes they're most comfortable in to get started, because I don't want it to be a barrier to them to getting started. However, once you start getting into doing Tai Chi, you really want something that's a softer sole, not a big, thick, rubber, heavy sole. Because your feet, like I said, they need to be fluid and they need to pivot, and you need to be feeling that ground, being rooted and grounded. So there are several different Tai Chi shoes available on Amazon. The shoes that I wear they're actually called Kung Fu shoes, and they have a cotton bottom to them. So it's not a rubber bottom, it's a cotton, so I can feel the floor a little bit better. So as you get going, yes, a thinner shoe is something important, but never make that a barrier to your clients. You can do Tai Chi barefoot too. If you feel comfortable with your clients being barefoot, that's awesome as well.
Yeah, a couple people asking about that. You knocked those 2 questions out. Bedros asking, Diane, could you please explain more about the relation or position of the hands with the legs?
Well, the the hands and the legs as you go along in Tai Chi, again, that's another level of learning that it actually gets into what's called the 6 harmonies, where your hands and your feet are in harmony together, your elbows and your knees are in harmony together. And that's something that I love to talk about Tai Chi because it is a lifelong learning event. You don't get tired, you don't ever stop learning new things in Tai Chi. And again, that's important because we want our clients to continue to practice on their balance. So that's one of those layers of learning that comes later down the road after you've learned the movements, you've learned the flow, you've learned how to apply the principles. Those harmonies of your hands and your feet, your elbows and your knees are actually something you apply later.
Okay. Sid is asking about the course. Do you cover progressions in the course for those with impaired balance?
I have in the actual certification course is all done standing. On that video membership site, which is included with the membership with the certification course, I have a whole series of modifications for people with impaired balance. Yes, seated modifications, standing modifications if they need a chair. So yes, I do help you with that if you have people in your community that you would be addressing that might not be able to stand for a full class.
Stacy's asking where you're based. Your studio there, conditioning classroom is in Centennial, Colorado. And actually we're hoping one of these days, maybe even in 2021, that the Functional Aging Summit will get back to Colorado.
Would love that.
Diane's supposed to host a Tai Chi workshop. So
Yep.
that could be coming in 2021. We'll see. It was sadly canceled in June of 2020, but she is in the Denver area. So,
yes.
All right, we'll take one more, maybe 2 more questions here. Kathy and Pauline have a question. Kathy is asking about your Tai Chi that you presented here today compared to Tai Chi for arthritis for fall prevention. She says that that is offered at the local senior center. So how would you compare the two?
Well, Tai Chi for Arthritis is a program that's created by Dr. Lamb from Australia. And he's a wonderful, he has a great approach to Tai Chi. I believe his Tai Chi for Arthritis actually has more of the Sun style. Remember I told you there are different styles of Tai Chi. I teach the Yang style. That Tai Chi for Arthritis actually has more of the Sun style, S-U-N. And but it's a great program. It's something that definitely helps people. Dr. Lamb has been doing that for years and years. So it's just a slightly different.
Okay, great. Pauline is asking about feet again. Fluid feet, open. Does this mean spread open your toes a bit?
Yes, actually, I like to use the description of I want you to feel like your toes are in wet sand and you can actually kind of feel them spreading out. Not harsh. I don't want them to be like this, but I definitely don't want them to be like this. Okay? And you will feel as, you know, even just stand and lift one leg, that supporting foot might be tempted to kind of grip the ground. And you want it to be more relaxed and more open.
Yeah, great. Okay, last question, then we'll let you go. We will see you back again on Thursday. Brenda's asking about some top tips for fall prevention, and not just seniors, maybe anyone in your martial arts classes and Tai Chi, any sort of fall tips you have.
You know, I love to say practice, practice, practice. You can learn a lot of ideas, but if you don't actually practice it, then it's not going to translate to your everyday life. So that's part of the beauty of Tai Chi, is that it is a consistent practice of feeling your substantial and insubstantial, understanding those columns, keeping your head, your eyes on the horizon, your head up, and I don't mean up like this, but eyes on the horizon. All of those things, like I said, help your body move in concert with itself so that it does stay more balanced.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we gotta address this question. So let me see if I can share my screen here real quick, because there may be people on the recording asking the same thing. Because we have talked about the certification, the course, the membership. So if you go to taichisystem.com, you actually can find both. But I'm now on the taichisystem.com site. And this is where you can get the Open the Door to Tai Chi program. You can get certified as a Tai Chi instructor. Diane's going to teach you how to teach Tai Chi. Okay, so when we say the certification or the course, this is what we mean. You're going to go to taichisystem.com. Now, if you're someone who's just like, I just want someone to do some Tai Chi with me, you can learn, and take Tai Chi through her membership. There's a free trial here. So that's a different website. I put that in the chat. We'll send this in the follow-up email as well. You can start a free trial. A couple people were asking, do I have to sign up for a whole year membership? Nope, it's $15 a month. And this is where you have, I think, over 100 Tai Chi training videos, right? So if you want to start becoming a Tai Chi member or a client yourself and just start practicing Tai Chi, Diane will be your trainer and take you through all sorts of workouts. So they are two different things. Just want to clarify that. If you want to become a Tai Chi instructor, that's taichisystem.com. If you really want to be a teacher, a leader, an instructor, and learn the concepts. If you just want to participate and take a Tai Chi class, then this might be where you want to start. So just wanted to clarify that for everyone.
Yes, that's great. Thank you, Dan.
So, all right, we're going to let you go. We will see you back on Thursday, same time, slightly different link. You'll all get that email reminder 24 hours in advance and 1 hour in advance. Thanks so much for your time today, Diane.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. I hope to see everybody on Thursday.
All right, see you, everyone.